And thank you for everyone for joining us today. It's great to have you. Special thanks to our student Erike for joining us today as well. Before we do go into this webinar, I will let everyone know that this webinar will be recorded. So if you want to turn your camera off, feel free to do so, but it will be recorded so we can obviously share this with other people looking to make a change. First of all, I'll start off by giving you a good idea on why we do this webinar. So we have webinars like this every month or so to talk about some of our successful students and what it is that we actually do here at the Learning People. And to start off with, I'll let you know a bit more about myself. So my name's Zach. I head up the IT department here at the Learning People. I'm joined with our successful student, Erike, who'll be talking shortly. I'm also joined by Stephen, who's one of our senior career consultants, and by Marisha, who heads up our career services team. So here at the Learning People, what do we do? So first of all, look, we've been doing online learning for about 11 years now, coming up on 12 years actually. We've had just over 40,000 students globally. And what we look to do is we offer online education. Now, this online education specializes for what we're looking at today in IT, whether that's entry-level IT, cybersecurity, whether it's cloud, whatever people are interested in studying towards, we offer them the official learning and the official curriculum. We have a fantastic student care team and career services team, which are then designed to support the students and transition them into the industry and find them their dream role. Like I said, we've had about 40,000 students around the world. We have something like 80 students sitting exams every single week. One of our key partners is an organization called CompTIA, which is the Computing and Technology Industry Association. We have won their Partner of the Year awards globally 2 times. We were the EC Council's exclusive learning provider. They are a specialist within cybersecurity and offer some of the highest level cybersecurity qualifications around the world. We were their exclusive partnership throughout all of Europe. We're recently come on board with an organization called Tech UK. Anybody who's thinking about changing their career or has an interest in tech, I definitely recommend to go have a look at their website. We are one of their members who have around 800 tech giants throughout the UK. And what this enables us to do is support our students to get on board with Tech UK and start approaching some of those market giants to be able to network into that industry. And finally, but I sort of think most importantly, is we're also regulated by the Learning and Performance Institute. And that organization are there to make sure that all of the education that we offer is obviously at the high standard. Like an accredited learning provider, we don't just offer any cheap or unaccredited courses. So that gives you a quick summary of exactly what we do here. What I would like to do first of all is hand over to Stephen, who's one of our senior career consultants, and he'll be able to let you know a bit more about his background and how he supports our students with this transition.
Hi, everybody. Yes, my name's Stephen Deman. I've been here at the Learning People just coming up for 10 years now. I've been here. So I've worked across a number of different departments and on the different sort of products and courses that we offer to our students. I've helped thousands of students transition, and over that 10 years, transition from non-tech roles. And it's good to see, Erike, I know you were a courier driver before. That's exactly the sort of thing that we specialize in. We do deal with a lot of industry professionals as well, but I would say 80% of the students that we take on are completely new to IT, and we train them up from beginner's level. So my role is normally to have a consultation in the first instance, much like Hemel did with you, Erike, you may remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just sort of, asking questions about, who you are, your current position, your background, your interest, what that person is trying to achieve. And that's just in order for us to know without a doubt exactly which particular package is going to be best for you. Because what we don't like to do is advise people on a package that, it's not actually right for them, if that makes sense. Once we know what's best for you, then I can brief you on what you need to do, how long it will take you, what it will do for you, what roles you'll be in, what salaries you'll be in, sure, what it costs, whether you want to do that in small monthly installments, all that sort of stuff. And by the time you've had sort of a 30 minute to 45-minute consultation, the prospective student, some of you guys who are attending here, perhaps, you're then in a much better place to make a a properly informed decision. So that's what I've been doing here for 10 years, and that's what I specialize in.
Thanks, Steve. That's great. And Erike, what I'd like to do, as you really are the star of the show today, is just hand over to you so you can let everyone know a bit more about your background. Can you just let everyone know about your career journey to date? Like, why is it that you chose to get certified within IT, mate?
Yeah, well, as a start, I'd just like to say thank you for having me. It's a real privilege to be on this platform and to participate in this webinar that can possibly help some people to also make their career change.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
So thank you. So yeah, with as far as my career, like so far, I kind of started off doing sort of customer service roles and kind of roles to do with even stuff like working as a cook. And that was while I was at uni, because I also do have a degree in psychology. But as that wasn't like a sort of STEM field, I didn't really get into a career per se, and I wasn't looking to kind of continue on further studies in education as far as getting a master's and a PhD to actually become a psychologist. So I only had the bachelor's degree. So I winded up getting into, especially around the time of the lockdowns, the kind of jobs that were really kind of in demand were kind of delivery jobs. So I was working as a courier during that time. And I learned fast that this was not something that I wanted to do long term. It was more or less something that I was doing to kind of just to keep me going and to support myself. And then I stumbled across IT. Even during my sort of past, I was always interested in IT, but I didn't know a way to kind of get into it. And as I started to dig deeper and do some research into cybersecurity and other fields to do with IT, I sort of stumbled across your platform, and I learned about how you can take people who can basically be from a beginner. So even if you don't have that much experience, I know there's probably some people watching, when you hear IT, they might be thinking, oh, this is like, you need to be like Albert Einstein, or you need to be a real whiz at, in education or something, but they can actually take you from a place where you are a complete beginner, and they can slowly build you up with the certification starting from a certain level, and you build from that foundation, and you can end up within a relatively short space of time in a really good position with your career. So that was kind of my background and what interested me to get into IT and to use the learning people to progress my career.
Yeah, great. And so you did a psychology degree. Why did you make that change? Did you struggle to find work with that degree, or?
Yeah, as I said, with a degree like psychology, as opposed to a degree in, like, say, a STEM field, like something to do with maths and engineering or to be a doctor, it's like those degrees are, I would say, there isn't a clear path with regard to a career, unless you want to go down the path of to be like a clinical psychologist. Then you definitely need to go for a master's and then a PhD. And I necessarily didn't want to go down that path. So just with the bachelor's psychology degree, I didn't really see a sort of way for me in terms of a career path. But IT really interested me because I feel like, as I said, I was always interested in it, and I just saw the route and the career path just seemed clearer to me of something that I wanted to go down, and I saw myself really being able to make progress with IT.
Sure. Okay. And you said, so you're working doing courier driving or delivering driving for your studies. So how did you manage that throughout your learning? How many hours were you? Did you do like 5 hours a week sort of thing, or how did you find the time to adjust that with you whilst you're working, mate?
Yeah, it was basically just any bit of spare time I had. So I might get home from my job, and then I'll just do a few hours there. I also like to go to the gym and stuff. Like even when I was being recruited with Hemel, he would go through with it with me, and I told him that I work long hours. I also like to go to the gym and stuff. Like, I don't think, like, this seems like it was going to be something that's going to require so much time and effort. I don't think I'll be able to do it. But he was like, you can even do it 2 days a week, like on your 2 days off on the weekend, if you get in at least like 7 hours. Yep. So say like 3.5 hours each of the spare days, then you'll be fine. So it's one of those things where you're going to have those kind of thoughts of, can you do this? But once you sort of make the plunge and just go in, you'll find ways to work around it. Like, even though Hamel had suggested the 2 days on like my days off, I ended up having spare time on other days that I was working, like maybe just a quick hour before I sleep, or So you kind of, because it's an online platform and it's not like education by way of an institution whereby you have to actually go in on set days and get through because it's all online, it's all around your own life. So it's like whether you have different sorts of commitments to do certain things, you can work around it, and so it's very good in that sense.
Yeah. And how was your experience with Hemel? I'm sure you remember first talking to Hemel. Did you know where you wanted to go before you spoke to Hemel? How did that consultation help?
The consultation really helped, and even the follow-up as well, because there was actually a point, I don't think I've even said this to Marisha, my career coach. There was a time when I was really close to quitting because I had taken the A+ like the first time, and he had sort of followed up in one of the calls where they just follow up about 6 weeks in to see how we're doing, and I had told him like, I don't think it's for me. I was sort of already thinking of other things to do. I was basically about to quit, and he was like, no, you should just stay with it. You're already paying for it. You might as well see it through and keep trying. And that definitely helped me to stick with it. And then yeah, I was able to pass. I think like a few months after. So that definitely gave me a lot of help.
Yeah, fantastic. And you then obviously supported by Marisha, with your transition to find your new role. So she obviously works over the career services. Yeah. How did you work with career services to find that role, and your application, your interview process? How did Marisha support you with that?
She really helped a lot. She was amazing, basically, because she had basically gave me the template with the CV, because I thought I had a good template of the CV, like it had my picture on it, and I thought it was really good. And then when she sort of gave me the sort of one of what works, I kind of just thought to myself, this is kind of her job. So if anyone knows about what works and what doesn't, it's the career service people that are going to know. So despite me thinking that mine was good or not good, I said, you know what, I'm just going to scrap it. I'm going to take her one on board, customize it for me, and I'm not going to go with that. And then she also really helped with like the LinkedIn profile, how to do a good LinkedIn profile, certain elements that you must have, certain keywords that are good to have for IT. So, and then even to go on with the interview process and the whole process, she was the one that even done some research on the company that I was going to interview with. She told me like who was the president, and she just gave a lot of research and gave me that was with a previous job that I ended up not getting, even though I really thought I did well, but I just missed that one on the last step. And then after the job I'm currently at now, I applied all of the sort of tools and resources she gave me, and then I was able to get this one. So the career service people, Marisha, and I'm sure the other ones, I would highly recommend them. If there are people watching that haven't really contacted the career service people or they're in the program now, I would highly recommend you do that. And I would just say, listen to everything they tell you and just do it, because they know what works and what doesn't. They've been doing this. So yeah.
That's great to hear that you had such a fantastic experience with Marisha as well. And can you talk to me about your role that you're in now? You're associate technical support engineer is your job title now. Can you let everyone know about what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Like, what are you enjoying the most out of that role now?
Yeah, it's really good because you work alongside people that are actually more advanced than you. Because I've come in at the associate level, that's sort of kind of like the base level, but that was my entry point. So it's like, as a day-to-day, like we come in and we deal with tickets. So like our company, Logic Monitor, they are a platform that they have a software that monitors and manages a company's whole IT infrastructure. So whenever our clients have some sorts of issues in how they're trying to configure our software to meet their demands, they may run into some difficulties and some issues with what they're trying to do. We are the sort of first point of contact, which can give them some help and give them advice on how to allow them to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. So we just have to learn the platform, and it's just based around giving support to our customers and clients, and we also learn our platform. So it's really good.
Okay, great. And that's a good point, actually, because I know that you said you were supporting your customers that you have there, and you've made a big change from your psychologically degree to now work in IT. And a lot of our successful students have made similar changes or big changes as well. Do you think there's any transferable skills that you had before you worked in IT, whether it's like social skills or anything that you thought has actually helped you work in IT or benefited you in IT as well?
Yeah, definitely. I would say some skills that I picked up as like when I worked as a customer service rep, because those sort of skills you learn as far as your communication skills, both spoken, written, and even reading, and how to comprehend documents and stuff, like all of these things which I'm sure everyone has some sort of experience in some shape or form, they can definitely be applied to this sort of role in IT support.
Yeah, great. I've only got two more questions for you, Erike. The second last question is, what would be your advice for anyone who wants to make a career change into IT?
I would say I would encourage you to do it, because probably the career that you're in now is not something that you particularly like that much, and the fact that you're even interested in IT and you want to sort of pursue that, I would say that you should go for it. And as I said, just pay close attention to the career coaches and everyone at the platform that are there to help you, because they had history and experience in doing it, in giving the support that they give, so they know what works and what doesn't. So that will give you the best possible chance of success. Okay,
great. And the final question from me before I hand over to Steve, I think he's got something else that he wanted to ask you, is, for me, what's next for you from here, Erike? What's the next step for you?
Now it's just to continue with my certifications with regard to CompTIA. So I actually have the A+ right now, and I'm working towards getting the Network Plus in security. And as far as in the future, I see myself going down the route, like in terms of working within the cloud. So you have the other platforms like your AWS and other things of that nature. And that's something that I've learned about as I took the step into IT. So that's the good thing about these courses. Like you can go into it as an initial thing where you're just interested in, say, the cybersecurity, or you want to get into the IT support and sort of launch your IT career. But as you get in, then you now see other sort of pathways and other career lines that you can go through and pursue. So it's really good.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks for that, Erike. Steve, I think you might have a question for Erike here.
It's really good to hear what you just said there, Erike. Getting into the field initially, I always say it's a bit like a tree with a lot of different branches coming out. And once you're up there, then you realize what you like and what you don't like, and you'll pursue that area. And one of the things that we do is just get you into the industry first. Most of our students are with us for life. They always come back a year later to do another thing and another thing. I mean, it's tech, so it never really ends. So that's quite interesting to hear you say that. Just one question from me. What gave you the courage to enroll? Because it's a significant commitment, it also financial as well. It's a serious thing. It's a real life decision you've made there. What gave you the courage to enroll with us?
Right. That's a really good question. I just felt like I really wanted to make a change in my career. Like, as I said, at the time, I was working as a courier, and that's really hard work in terms of the physical aspect of it. And it was like, I just didn't see myself doing that for like a long time. Like, I would work alongside people that perhaps were in their 40s or whatever, and they're probably supporting families and they really have to do it. And I just didn't see myself staying within there. So when I saw when I had became privy to the IT, and obviously I had said that from previous before, I was always interested, but I just didn't know how to kind of pivot into it. So finding out about the Learning People platform and how they can, as I said, take people from a limited background and experience level, and they can train you up to the point where you're actually able to get into IT. That was really what gave me the push and the impetus to make that decision and get into it.
Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Erike. So what I'll do quickly now is I'm going to hand over to Marisha, who obviously knows Erike very well. And Marisha works over in our career service team. So it'd be great to hear from you and just walk everybody through your journey and how you support our fantastic students make this career change as well.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I just want to say as well, it was an absolute pleasure working with you, Erike. You were so receptive to everything that we talked about, and always so positive, makes a real big difference. So yeah, all credit to you for getting the role that you got. So anyway, yeah, I work on the career services team at Learning People. We launched at the end of 2019 to focus solely on supporting students to become job ready, to navigate the job market with confidence. And we provide industry-specific, impartial advice and support. So we take you through like a 3-phased process that's tailored to your own chosen career path, whether you're a first jobber or whether you're career changing, or if you're a professional looking to upskill. And phase 1 is all about laying down those foundations in order to become a credible candidate. So how to write your CV using all of the necessary keywords and transferable skills, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to start researching the tech industry, identifying companies that you want to work for. And you'll have a one-to-one consultation with a consultant like myself on how to make yourself stand out against the competition. And you know, while there are plenty of job opportunities out there, there are also there's also a lot of competition. And if you're only going to rely on making job applications via job boards, your journey might take that little bit longer to secure a job. Online job boards only represent about 30% of available jobs, so you're often up against 100+ applicants when you're applying. So we'll guide you on how to utilize different approaches, different recruitment methods along with the job boards, and that will sort of help open up that hidden job market that we all hear about. And so this is phase 2. And we'll take you through that. It's also about networking whilst you're balancing your job applications. And we'll give you the tools and the confidence to proactively find professionals in the IT field, whether it's cybersecurity or cloud or you know, for IT support, to build relationships with the focus on your interest in IT. And if you can provide value to those contacts, then they'll probably introduce you to their contacts and offer advice and even act as references to job opportunities that aren't being advertised. So we'll help you to sort of own your own and grow your own credibility and make strong connections in the marketplace. So once you start having those conversations with industry professionals, then you'll probably start getting interviews as well, and you'll progress on to phase 3, and that's all about focusing on how to prepare for them, the general questions versus the competency-based questions that you're likely to come across, as well as industry-specific questions. So yeah, with our own recruitment experience background, we know what's needed from you to make your profile stand out and above the competition, and just help you fast track into your new role. And that's us in a nutshell, really.
Thank you, Misha. That's great. And what I will do now, just quick, I know there's only about 5 minutes left or so scheduled for this webinar. What I'd like to do is just answer a couple of questions that have been asked in, I should say. It looks like 2 might be better suited for Marisha than myself. Looks like a couple have been asked in different ways. The first one I can see here is essentially, what are the differences between university training and getting certified with the Learning People? How do employers look out for between the two? And that's a very good question. There's another question that was asked, I can see quite similar, on giving advice on someone entering their foundation years, an IT career route versus you know, going to university. And look, from an academic background myself, going to uni is great. I would never say that education isn't good, whether it's academic or professional qualifications. The difficulty is, especially with an area like tech, is going to university obviously takes a far longer period of time. A degree can be 3 or 4 years easily. If you want to do a master's degree, it'll take you even longer. The tutor has to learn that curriculum before they can teach it, and the curriculum has to be up to date. And now the difficulty is with areas like Erike would know with software, is software development is accelerating as one of the fastest areas within IT. Hardware, not so much, but application support and application development comes along a very, very quick way. I do say, you know, think about how many iPhones we've had over the last 5 years. So if you're looking for entry-level roles in particular, or if you're looking to work in an area like cloud, which Erike is interested in, or if you want to work in an area like cybersecurity, unfortunately, when you have a degree, a lot of the education you learn might be nearly out of date or not in use by the time you try and make that transition. And we do enroll students all of the time who unfortunately may already have a degree, but keep getting knocked back because they don't have professional certificates. And that, I mean, don't get me wrong, when they get qualified, fantastic, they have a degree and the professional courses. But the way that the industry is evolving is almost all of the job advertisements that you see or what employers are looking for are always professional qualifications, because they're regulated, they're globally recognized, they know your education is going to be up to date, and they're what you call job specific, which is sort of what I think, Erike, you might have been referring to before as well when you were saying about degrees. If you want to go to a clinic or specialize in a certain area, very much the same with an IT degree. You can learn about networking, you can learn about software, you can learn about programming, you may touch on a little bit of cybersecurity, but you might not actually be particularly proficient at any job role. You just know a little bit of everything. So professional courses are very in demand for all different areas within IT, but particularly for entry-level roles, because it knows that employers will know rather that you'll be certified for a specific job role. So I hope that answers that question, what was asked in a couple of times. Marisha, there might be one here for you, sorry, which I think you might be able to explain better than I can, which is how to network. So obviously within their social community, what best tools can we use to people's advantage? That was asked in by Tamir.
Yeah, good question. And it's obviously it's a big section that we cover in phase 2 of career services. The best way to network is to do it whilst you're studying. And so we really encourage our students to do that, and not when you're in a situation where you need a job now, because we don't encourage our students to ask for a job. We encourage you to contact people you know, as well as people you don't know, who are in the IT industry, or perhaps have the skill set that you're looking to gain, or you might even network with someone that has changed career like yourself and they're in a job that you would like. How did they make the move? Asking for advice on how to present yourself to industry, and being really curious about the area that you want to move into. So you're not actually asking for a job. And lots of our students have got jobs through networking on LinkedIn. The activity that they've been creating on LinkedIn have then made other employers notice them, and then they've approached them because they just liked how they were presenting themselves online. So it's a bit of a superpower, because it kind of lets you vet these employers at the same time as they're vetting you, and it gives you an awareness of who the good people are to work with out there, and what teams are doing interesting things, and you're just more likely to set yourself up for long-term success.
And I think what's important from that, if we look at some data there, Marisha, I think I heard you say about 70% of all of our student placements come through networking correctly through LinkedIn. Is that right?
Well, it's more that only 30% of jobs are advertised on LinkedIn. Right. So if you're networking, you end up opening up all the sort of hidden job opportunities that are out there. If you think about it, when a lot of companies, if they're saving on recruitment costs, for example, and they're savvy with recruitment, the first thing they'll do if they have a position available is ask their team, who do you know that could do this job? And that's networking. That's then referring someone in if there's someone on the team that knows someone that is looking. So it's a really, really important way, like a really valuable way of jumping the queue and getting ahead of the competition and getting that interview. So yeah, we really encourage it.
And I think that would be particularly difficult for someone, if they're changing their career, how do they start networking? So I think that's where a lot of the great work that you and the rest of the career services too is help them open those doors, because they are branching into an entirely new industry for the vast majority of the students anyway.
Absolutely. And what we're finding, which is really lovely, is people like Erike want to give back, or they want to help others that are within a similar situation. So, I've had students that have been happy then for other students to contact them and to say, how did you make that move into cybersecurity? What did you do? What were the key things that you did that stood out for employers? And so it's really valuable advice, and it's brilliant that we've got students like Erike that want to help and help others that are going through the same thing.
Yeah, thank you. And the final, there's 2 more questions here. Erike, I think that you actually might have answered this one already, which was that they've asked, how do you manage your studies whilst also working? And I think that you covered that really well when you spoke about obviously the delivery work that you were doing and just jumping on for an hour here or there throughout the learning. You don't need days on end or the exact same schedule. The studies are designed to be flexible. So I think that you answered that one already. So thank you for doing so. The final one here talks about the job demand in IT. And I think that we all know, you do a small amount of research, and there's areas in IT like cybersecurity we hear all the time, and cloud computing, and these areas are growing so quickly. The the growth in the cloud market is massive globally, and there is a huge demand to have more people certified in this area. We know that there's something like a 0% unemployment rate in cybersecurity. We know that there's tens of thousands of job vacancies right now that might even be 30%, as Marisha was saying, of live job roles that you can see at the moment. However, what I would say what's most important is you need to have the professional certificates. If you get the professional courses and you take the right steps, you will be able to find employment very, very quickly. But without getting the right learning, the official qualifications and the right support, it will be difficult to make that transition, as you said, because we'll have candidates like Erike and our other students who are taking the right steps. So my only advice on that would be, if you do want to change and you do want to work in IT, you will be able to find that employment. Just do not take shortcuts. Invest in your money in the right opportunity, get the right learning and the right support, because you can only make that career change. You only want to make that once. Don't make it harder than what it is, and just take the right steps to do so. And of course, you'll be able to find your dream role like Erike has landed, and will, I'm sure, progress into cloud engineering or wherever it is that you might want to move into. So I'd like to say, as we are a little bit over time, thank you for everyone joining today. Special thank you to Erike. Mate, it's been lovely to have you on the
privilege and a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem, no worries. And obviously, thank you to Marisha and Steve for joining us, and everybody online. If you do have any questions, feel free to email me directly. So my name is, if you'd like to write this down, I'll give you a quick chance to get a pen and paper or open a Word document or anything like that. My name is, so it's Zachary, Zachary. It's a full stop, and then my surname is Lowndes, Lownds. So that's Lima Oscar Whiskey November Delta Sierra @learningpeople.co.uk. And just feel free to email me, let me know you attended the webinar, and I can put you in contact with Stephen himself if he has some free time, or any of our other career consultants, to work out what will be the best opportunity for you. Otherwise, if you missed my email, just feel free to log on to our website, register your interest there, and one of the consultants will be in touch. But again, thank you for everyone for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all the next one. Thanks again, Erike.
Thank you.